Welcome to What's Up Pasadena. From the scientific to the artistic, Pasadena has a little bit of something for everyone. On this episode, we marvel at the creepy creations at Monsterpalooza, enjoy a trip down memory lane at the Giddy Up exhibit at the Pasadena Museum of History, stop by Lumina Academy and meet their award-winning belly dancing troupe, and cheer on PUSD students and their robotic skills at the RoboRally competition.
Here we are at the Rose Bowl for the 10th annual Pasadena Educational Foundation's RoboRally 19, driven by Honda. We've got 200 middle school students from the Pasadena Unified School District competing today that are breaking up into teams, depending on what school they come from, and they're competing on a board with an underwater theme, not underwater, but an underwater theme. And I have a feeling that the competition is going to be about as hot and heavy as it is for other competitions that happen on this field on Saturdays in the fall. So very excited. So we use Lego robots, EV3s, and the students build them. They've programmed their robots to do certain things, and then the robots come back. The students are using tablets to go out and collect metal from the middle of the boards and bring them back. So the combination of those two scores will determine who goes on to the next round. Obviously, it's a lot of fun, as you can see from the enthusiasm of the kids here. And then we've added the new element this year of the automated part where they're directing in real time what the robots are doing to collect the metal pieces as part of the competition too.
The Legacy Foundation has a mission to preserve, protect, and enhance the Rose Bowl Stadium. And protecting and enhancing the future of the Rose Bowl Stadium means many, many things. It means protecting the brick and mortar and the stadium itself, but it also means protecting the future consumers and the future community that are going to enjoy the stadium. So when you look at what the Rose Bowl Stadium has stood for over a near century, it stood for big moments, inspirational moments. There's so much that can be learned through those moments here at the stadium: teamwork, leadership, risk-taking, equality, integrity. And through taking those qualities that have been a part of all these events here at the Rose Bowl over the past many decades and translating them into education for kids, we want to use the stadium as a platform for that, for more things in the future. So we feel the Rose Bowl Stadium is incredibly educational in nature. We want to use that in a literal sense and try to influence the next generation on that platform. So the robotics rally today is due to a generous gift by Honda and the American Honda Corporation. And what Honda has enabled us to do is bring it down here on the iconic Rose Bowl turf and recognize the hard work that these students have put in the classroom, in their science classrooms, and building these robots, but do it on the turf of this National Historic Landmark, this California Civil Engineering Landmark. It speaks to STEM education already, and to have those students here today and showcase their hard work is something that we're excited to do more of, not just today, but in the future.
I think this is a wonderful opportunity for these kids to get out and see, I mean, obviously a wonderful venue, the Rose Bowl, but to be doing some actual STEM learning, programming that they're doing, building these robots. There's a lot of technical ability that these kids the skills that they're honing, which is great to see. But in a friendly competition on top of that, it really brings together so many things that I think of when I think of my education. I didn't have an opportunity like this. And I have a feeling we're making memories for these kids today that's going to stick with them for a long time. I'm very grateful to the Rose Bowl for hosting us, grateful to Honda for their support of this program, the McCrite Foundation, our partners at PUSD, Caltech, Tournament of Roses, and the College Football Playoff Foundation. It's a wonderful testament to what can happen when a community comes together to support our kids.
This is the moment I knew. His future had no boundaries.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org.
Creatures of the Night descend on the Pasadena Convention Center each year to celebrate the art of monsters and movie magic. With live makeup demonstrations, stunning costume design, and vendors specializing in gore, Monsterpalooza is a horror lover's dream. Or perhaps nightmare?
Well, there's lots of booths, and there's lots of people to look at, and there's lots of funny-looking people with funny makeup on. Sometimes they've got a gash in their head, and they've got staples holding it together.
I think the cool thing about cosplaying is you are no longer just an observer, you become a participant. When you actually dress up, I think it's got to be more fun. People see you, people stop you, you get to stop people, you get to be a little out of your normal character, and that's a fun thing.
For me, I've been doing it, since the 80s. So I just like being other people. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, we also like to see all the other people that are in costume. That's pretty fun. I'd say the stars are about 25 to 50% of it, and then a lot of the stars are just the people that are here, and the artists, the stuff that the artists make is amazing.
All the artists with their booths, everything is their own creation. They're selling the work. They're all amazing, all, hand done. You're in awe with just the skill and talent that everyone has.
The sculptures, as an artist myself, it just, wow, makes you feel this big. But it's just amazing to see such artistry, and I don't know how to explain that. It's wonderful. I love it.
Yeah, it's different when you see art in person than when you see it on a TV screen or on a picture. When you see people here, a lot of them are actually airbrushing or demonstrating how they make certain special effects, and they bring their A game. They bring some really neat stuff. And then if you ever want to have a great costume, a lot of them sell some of their products, like masks and things that are already made. It's amazing.
Everything else here that you see, we make it ourselves. Even we got this big spiny dogfish shark over here, and we made that ourselves. I embalmed it in a formaldehyde type of solution, and what these wet specimens are in, it's in a alcohol, it's isopropyl alcohol, so just basically rubbing alcohol. So far it's been a really great convention. The displays here are outstanding. I've been to other conventions and they don't compare to this one.
The gun is made out of foam material and just painted and everything to look kind of big. It's actually very lightweight. Even these big old wings, everything's very lightweight and easily to transfer. TSA opened up my luggage because of this weirdness I had in there. We did run into Doug Jones himself. We saw him from a distance, and he definitely saw us. And he came over, had some very kind words with us. We got a chance to take a couple pictures with him, and then he had to be whisked away.
She actually gave him some posing tips, too. That was the funny part.
Some of the better aspects of going to a con is if you go to several of them, you start to meet people again and again, and you become friends. You really do, and you bump into these people, and then you see all the artistry. It's nice to see from a distance, but it's great to see up close.
If you've never been to this, you need to come to Monsterpalooza for sure. Absolutely.
When I was in foster care, I never knew when I would have to move. So I always had my suitcase ready to go. Then one day I was adopted. My new parents opened their hearts and home to me. My parents cook my favorite breakfast for me every morning. My parents take me on trips I never thought I would go on. They gave me a home and an even better reason to use that suitcase. My parents aren't perfect, but they're perfect for me.
The exotic and mesmerizing art of belly dancing has been celebrated for centuries, originating in the Middle East and Africa. For over 5 years, Lumina Academy has offered a variety of cultural dance styles to the Pasadena community.
Lumina Academy is a world dance academy. We're focusing on teaching cultural dances from around the world. I specifically work at teaching Middle Eastern dances here at Lumina Academy, but we do have salsa, merengue, Armenian dances, Latin dances, African dances, and all different kinds of cultural dances. Our belly dance troupe is called Butterflies. We're a group of sisters, mothers, and daughters who dance together. We share this passion for belly dancing. We do mainly Egyptian-style dancing, but we explore fusions from around the world. That's what we decided to do 5 years ago. We moved the group into a more diverse style of dancing. We're being fusioning belly dancing with Bollywood, flamenco, and the last fusion was Argentine tango. Little by little, the group was progressing from a small team to now a big company where people is having fun and we're doing competitions and we're winning trophies and getting more recognition in the area and in the whole country. This year I'm actually very proud because our group won the belly dancing of the Universe International competition. We actually won first prize on the group category. The piece actually was inspired of the favorite tango of my grandma. My grandma used to love this tango from Mariano Mores named Tanguera. I decided to work this piece in honor to her. It evolves from Argentine tango to Middle Eastern piece, and then eventually to a drum solo and a shabby dance to the end. It takes us gradually from a very, very traditional Argentine piece to a very modern Middle Eastern music. Belly dancing is a discipline that involves a lot of femininity. In the class, you'll learn how to be free, to enjoy your body in the way that it is, and learn how to move it and how to express yourself through the dance. So that's the main goal that we're doing when people is coming to my class. Belly dancing is a fun workout. It is great. It has a lot of nice energy. When you are belly dancing, you just, at least for 1 hour, forget about the problems, like the reality. You just are here for 1 hour and you're happy. You just enjoy yourself. I always said that dancing is the best exercise you can do. Because when you're dancing, you're not only training your body and you're also training your brain. You train your brain to remember patterns. You train your brain to coordinate the movements on your body, to listen to music, to be aware of your surroundings, to work on your balance, to work on your posture. So dancing is a complete exercise for everybody. That's why I always recommend people to do any kind of dancing. Belly dancing, if you're a girl, it will help you to develop more confidence. Any kind of dance will help you to work around your round body, your brain, even your emotions will be benefited by dancing, because you'll be able to express, to get joy, and to have, if you're dancing like in our group, for example, the sense of community will be always very important. We're all aware of one each other, if who needs something, how can we help each other in our personal lives. And it makes a big difference for some people.
Roll over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother and... I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org. The latest exhibit at the Pasadena Museum of History is a playful display of the past that may have you reliving your childhood.
The title of the exhibit is Giddy Up, Children Take the Reins. The idea was to show what children had to play with at a time when there were no batteries. Children had to do the work. They had to bounce something or rock something or get on and push something with their little feet. A lot of these toys that roll have bells in the wheels. So you can imagine a mother all day hearing that dinging bell, but she'd know where her kid was, I'll tell you. The other part of the exhibit is the juvenile animals. We thought it would be fun to include those. This one is things for children to enjoy and to touch for adults to remember what it was like when they were little. There are going to be posted on the walls some sort of memories for me of childhood with my parents at Christmas time. And the start of this whole collection of toys was a Cal's colt, and the search for Cal's colt and asking Santa for a rocking horse. Well, for the toys, it all started with 1 or 2 toys. Always everything, the core of my collections, with the exception of the carousel pieces, have been something in my family home that I found stashed in the attic or a closet or a drawer someplace. The carousel things, I'd always wanted a carousel pony. I'd ridden carousels when I was little. I was allergic to horses, but I could ride a carousel, and I would use Griffith Park. And I'd always pick a horse that had the most amount of flowers and feathers and outside, and I would close my eyes, and my mother and father would say, well, why aren't your eyes, we were waving at you, why aren't you waving back? And I said, well, I closed my eyes, and we now jumped off the carousel and running through the park. So, and so I thought, well, the best job in the world would get to be to paint carousel ponies, but I want to own my own carousel someday. So I do have 3 carousels, And I have a big collection of full-size carousel animals in Irwindale. So every day is spent with the ponies. Most things in this gallery are wood, with the exception of 2 metal horses at the far end of the gallery here. I've never been given any carousel animal. I've always had to search them out. But there are some fun things, like the giraffe behind you. It's a baby giraffe that was next to a chariot. And it came to me in a lot of pieces and in a box. But my wood carver took the whole thing down to his place and made a new leg and made a new piece in the neck and put it all back together just beautifully. So I never buy anything that's in excellent shape because it just costs too much. I'd rather put the money into the restoration and then put it back to factory. In the toy room, there is the first Wonder Horse, and it was just so simple, just a kind of a square boxy horse on springs, and then it became a more elaborate version if you made it some years later. So the Mexican pieces are all behind me. Mexican pieces are generally very small. They're a kid's favorite animals, so you get gorillas, and there are panthers, and there are wild beasts, domestic beasts, mermaids. You know, I have at the shop, I have witches and a wizard, and there's cartoon figures. I have Superman is here in my shop. I've got Woody Woodpecker. There are birds like peacocks. The variety of Mexican pieces is just really wonderful. Papier-mâché horse is Italian. He's at the far end, and he's got kind of a plywood bottom on him. I think they're pretty charming. You know, the little lion there with that cute face, I'll tell you, you can't resist that guy. Any of these are all really fun. I think they're all looking like they're really trying hard to please you. This little pinto pony next to me over here, it's just head up in the air, waiting for the next person to come over and think he's beautiful. The shoe flies are the ones that they're rockers that have 2 sides and the child sits in the middle. And there's always this wonderful graphic on the side of horses running or pacing. There's Donald Duck, our look-alike, with his baby ducks next to him. There's also that glider of the Swan. And what little girl wouldn't like to ride in a glider that you're on the water? And I think anybody that was of an age that could get and use that would have loved to have had that under a tree someday or on a birthday present. Everybody had a childhood, and I think people are going to find something that they had when they were little in the toy section. They're going to remember that they might have had a gong bell, ride-on toy, or they might have had a Mobo toy, or the Mobo pony walker, where they were little and they pushed this little thing around to learn how to walk carefully and safely. I think people just have this memory of what it was like to be a kid, and most of us have that little bit of kid left in us. The exhibit will be here at the Pasadena Museum of History until September 15th. It all gets to come home again.
Here's your events calendar for the month of June. Pasadena Senior Games on June 1st at Caltech. Bowl Pass 2019 on June 8th in Old Pasadena. Playhouse Block Party on June 8th in the Playhouse District. The 9th Annual San Marino Motor Classic on June 9th in Lacey Park. Pasadena Chalk Festival on June 15th and 16th in the Paseo. Garden Party on June 29th at the Norton Simon Museum. CatCon June 29th and 30th at the Pasadena Convention Center. That's your events calendar for the month of June. Thanks for joining us on this episode. Be sure to follow us on social media and visit us at pasadenamedia.org. We'll see you next time.